All right, we're starting your Unit 8 notes tonight. We'll go over Lecture 1 today. You'll have, I believe, 6 PowerPoints to go through. Your test will be next Thursday, so make sure you watch all of these here and bring in your entrance tickets. All right, so we'll go over Vietnam Years Part 1 for today. All right, so your background to Vietnam. After World War II, France attempts to reestablish colonial control of Vietnam, which is the pink that's here, okay? They controlled it before. They obviously lost control after World War II when Germany defeated them. So now they're going to try and regain control. Vietnamese are going to resist the French under the communist leadership of a man named Ho Chi Minh. All right, Ho Chi Minh is their leader. Eisenhower's government will support France in the battle against the Viet Minh rebels. Viet Minh are considered, that's the name for the communist fighters under Ho Chi Minh. So don't forget that. That's on your test. Viet Minh rebels. All right, this is called the domino theory because they're afraid, just like dominoes. You stack dominoes up. When you tip one over, they all fall. They're afraid if Vietnam falls to communism, right? Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, Burma, India, all of these countries will fall to communism as well. It'll be a domino effect. So when one starts, they all will fall. All right. Eventually, the French are going to abandon Vietnam after they lose at a place called Dien Bien Phu, which is in 1954. All right. To end the conflict, officially, the U.S. helped draft what are called the Geneva Accords. This divides Vietnam at the 17th parallel into North Vietnam and South Vietnam. The North is controlled by communists and Ho Chi Minh. The South is controlled by anti-communist forces. And they're promised elections to reunite the entire country. All right. We're going to start kind of butting in a little bit. The U.S. will begin providing economic support to anti-communists in the South. We're going to give them money and other materials so they can properly defend themselves against these, and not even defend, but also attack against these communists. The president of South, Dien Diem, cancels those promised elections. Okay, so there's promised elections so that the entire country, North and South Vietnam, can unite. All right, Diem is afraid he's going to lose. So he's like, hey, I don't want Ho Chi Minh to win. So he cancels those elections, okay, which is not a good start. Communist guerrillas in the South, all right, there are communist supporters living in South. They're going to be called the Viet Cong. They're going to attack Diem's government. So Viet Minh were those rebels that supported or were with Ho Chi Minh before. Viet Cong are southern Vietnamese that support communists. Okay, they're going to begin to attack the southern Vietnamese government. That is when the United States is going to get involved. Viet Cong are supplied from the north via the Ho Chi Minh Trail. So here is where you have your Viet Minh troop. Viet Cong are going to be down here in South Vietnam. Okay, since remember South Vietnam was controlled by Diem, who the United States backed. They can't get supplies and weapons and other types needed to attack the government because no one would sell it to them. They had no way of making them, buying them, or anything like this. So the North, the communists in the North are going to supply them by going through Laos. Okay, so they're going to use the Ho Chi Minh Trail, which is just used to sneak goods into South Vietnam. They're basically going to smuggle them. The United States will begin bombing North Vietnam. By 1963, JFK had sent in 16,000 military advisors. So we're not officially at war, but he sends in 16,000 military troops to, advise the South Vietnamese. Now, the Gulf of Tonkin incident, the South will grow more unstable after Diem's death. Lyndon B. Johnson fears that he will be perceived as soft on communism. So, in August 1964, the U.S. ship a U.S. ship is attacked by a North Vietnamese patrol boat in the Gulf of Tonkin. Lyndon B. Johnson asked for action from Congress. That is when they passed the Tonkin Gulf Resolution, which gives LBJ Carte Blanche to conduct war against the North. Basically, he's got free reign. He can do whatever he needs to do to defeat the North Vietnamese. Okay, but the incident is widely believed to have been staged. Basically, and we'll go over this more later, but we have no evidence really of how our U.S. ships were attacked. We're not sure if they really were attacked or if the government's just kind of staging it as an excuse to go to war with North Vietnamese. All right, so we're going to Americanize the war. This is similar to what Americanizing, we've talked about it before, and like with Native Americans and things like this. LBJ initiates Operation Rolling Thunder, which is sustained bombing of the North. Okay, and I need to go into more detail. If you see, Americanizing means we're going to make the war more American, which means instead of letting the South Vietnamese do everything, we're going to kind of take control of the war. By June 1965, you have 50,000 U.S. troops in the country. Early on, most Americans support the war because of containment theory, and you all know what that containment theory is. We're going to contain communism. Okay? Make sure you pay attention to our key U.S. leaders here. You might see those on a quiz or something tomorrow. Who knows? All right, now your troop buildup. South Vietnamese Army, ARVN, quickly is judged incompetent by General Westmoreland. That means they're not good at what they're doing. Okay? So he believes that without the United States troops, the South would rapidly fall. All right? So LBJ and Westmoreland staged massive troop buildup. We went from 50,000 Americans to 500,000 Americans. We believe that we will win with our superior weapons and the large amount of forces we have. So we're going to go in there with a massive amount of troops and huge, more advanced military weaponry, and we're going to think, oh, we'll kick their butts real quick. But that is not the case. It is extremely difficult. All right, so make sure you bring your interest ticket. Sorry, this is a little longer, but you can suffer it as a minute and a half or so more. Make sure you are prepared for your quiz tomorrow.